Thank you, Henry, for that beautiful story on animal husbandry. Now, the World Food Programme's homegrown school feeding model is taking shape in Karamoja. Since its inception last year, 3 ministers who have toured areas of Nakapiripiti and Napak, where it was adopted, have come to praise the model.
In the homegrown school feeding model, WFP supports Karamoja to learn farming, buy their produce at will, and later on supply the food to their children in schools in the locality.
The model is seen as a sustainable way in which Karamoja, on whom education and livelihood depend on food alms, can stand sustainably and independently.
For over 4 decades, the World Food Programme has given food handouts to schools in Karamoja in order to attract children to join school and probably maintain those already there. This old model of school feeding initiative has come of age, and the World Food Programme, starting last year, devised a more inclusive school feeding model codenamed Homegrown School Feeding.
The model of school feeding, though, is starting to change. Traditionally, WFP in the old time would import food from outside of Uganda to feed children in Karamoja. In more recent years, we've been procuring food in Uganda, but not in Karamoja, and not from smallholder farmers, but from big traders to distribute in the schools of Karamoja. And in the last 2 years, we've been shifting our model and increasingly procuring from here in Karamoja, a sub-region of the country that many think is actually not productive.
The model entails supporting local Karamojongs to grow foods such as maize and beans, harvest them to meet internationally recommended standards for World Food Programme to buy and supply free of charge to schools in the region.
We've been able to procure for the last 2 years nearly 100 tons each year, and our intention is to keep working with the government of Uganda, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Karamoja Affairs, to continually increase that amount, so the money that we do spend on the Karamoja school feeding program is injected into the local economy of Karamoja.
State Minister for Primary Education was Mary Seninde, State Minister for Agriculture Christopher Chibanzanga, and Moses Tizige, State Minister for Karamoja Affairs, visited the districts of Napak and Nakapiripiriti. The ministers hailed the homegrown school feeding model upon what they witnessed.
Indeed, what we've seen is an effort of World Food Programme. We all appreciate that one in Kampala would think that probably Karamoja cannot have something like this, something like food as we've seen. But I'm glad that the women and the men have realized that they must grow food.
It gives hope to the rest of the world that with the correct leadership, communities can be transformed within a few years. I was in Karamoja 7 years ago. I left Karamoja without hope, very depressed and very frustrated. I'm in Karamoja after 7 years. You see a new Karamoja emerging.
Touring schools in Nakapiripiriti, where the model has been successful, engaging in feeding the school children, the ministers saw a reason to scale up the model to all areas in Karamoja so as to create food sustainability. They promised inputs to encourage farming.
I have proposed, and I'm going with these 2 proposals. Even if it means enforcement, I will do it, because we have the boys in uniform and the RDC's office. We are going paddocking. Any district that is benefiting from the resilience program, we are not going to allow the wandering of animals as they wander with our children, draining their energy from school.
What we are working on as government is to transform people's lives, to abandon their nomadic lives, to the beliefs that everything must be produced by their cows and goats, but also to know that they can produce food and live on it.
In Karamoja, food availability is a major factor that determines attendance of pupils at school. School authorities have informed us that any slight decrease in food supply greatly reduces numbers of pupils attending school, later on affecting
Karamoja,
performance.
In some places where we are, it is a bit rocky. So agriculture cannot be carried out with these traditional methods of ours that people use here. So if food is supplied in time, the attendance and the enrollment, you realize that it's good.
Approximately 100,000 children receive 2 meals from the World Food Program in both primary and secondary school daily. David Matovu for UBC reporting.
Great initiative, right? That